All right. So, Josh, I went to a concert Friday night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd you go see?
Uh, Spirit Box and Loathe were the main two. Reason why I wanted to go see them. There was an opener also I didn't really like though. But
Where was this at?
so the venue was at the MGM Casino.
Oh, in DC.
Yeah.
Near the little Inner Harbor area there.
Yeah, which I've never been to before. Honestly, I didn't even know this place existed.
Yeah. Harbor of America, or no, what is it? They call it. There's a name for this area.
I don't know. It's just harbor. Yeah.
Some harbor. They have the Gaylord Hotel there too.
I did see the Gaylord sign. Yeah. Yeah. So is that connected to it? The Gaylord Hotel? Is that a part of the building?
It's in that area. I don't know if it's part of the casino, but it's in the that waterfront area.
I just saw the sign when we were turning onto the exit. But no, so this concert, these two bands I've been wanting to see for a long time, and they were awesome. But the venue, I don't know, I guess because it's a casino, but the security was awful and really strict. We had the seats we got were balcony seats, which I was like, that's fine. But as soon as we got to our seats before the show, I tried at several different points to go I want to go down to the floor and get close at certain points. Couldn't even I got down the stairs even. And the security was like, where are you going? I'm like, I just want to go to the floor. And they're like, no. They're like, do you have a ground floor ticket? I'm like, no, I have a balcony ticket. I was like, does that matter? She's like, yeah.
Because you have to pay extra to be down there probably.
No, it's cheaper. The ground floor is the cheapest. That's like general admission.
Oh, okay.
And so technically ours, I guess, were a little bit more, which I didn't care. I just wanted to see them. But anyway, so that sucked because so I couldn't even go down to see them at all. So I was just very far away in the balcony. It was still I could see it, but the sound was good and everything. It's just the kind of room it was, because it looked like a 4,000 capacity, something like that room.
Okay.
It would make sense for if you went to see a comedian or something. That's the kind of room it was, which I imagine that's probably what's normally.
Yeah. It's more like a seating all the way through almost. And
yeah.
Not because sometimes they have those places where they'll put fold out chairs in the lower area.
They probably do. But yeah, I mean, the balcony is all around their seats. And then, the floor area. Anyway, it just, for this type of show, for a metal show, not ideal.
Yeah.
And specifically, I'm I want to go get as close as I can. And it was sold out, but still, I was trying to go down there and couldn't at all. So that was the only thing that sucked about it. But yeah.
I feel for some reason, it's hard to imagine a metal show in those kind of spaces anyway. Because you just kind of want to be more in a smaller underground venue, and
those are normally more fun. Yeah.
Makes it more fun.
But these two bands are blowing up right now, especially Spirit Box, and so they were headlining. It's their tour for their new album. So it's awesome to see, especially both of these bands getting way more popular this year, which is awesome. They both deserve it. But it's just, I was wishing it would be somewhere else. But because of, I guess, how big they are now, this is the kind of rooms they play, which is pretty crazy. But so anyway, Spirit Box and Loathe. Write a comment if you even have heard of those two bands, but they're awesome. So next time y'all play around here, try to play somewhere else. It's not ideal for a metal show. People just want to be free and want to run around and get wild. I was surprised they still let a mosh pit though, which I was I thought they'd even be.
But you couldn't get down to it.
Nope, couldn't even get that far. Yeah.
So you're right. It's the I don't know, the metal, the punk, all that stuff. It's just goes against sitting in a chair in a balcony. It doesn't go.
It really
together.
does. This is it's very anti that, and that's why that was the only thing that was weird is sitting down the whole time. I could stand up against the railing, and that's it. But I'm up high. It's just didn't feel right for the tone of the show. But
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time TV, a podcast where we discuss some of the latest streaming shows. Currently, we're going to dig into the first episode of season 2 of The Last of Us. But before we do that, we're going to have Based or Waste and a little bit of what we've been watching.
Yep.
So, Jared, you say we need more viewers. How many more? You see, we have this dial called the viewer meter that I can just turn up and we'll get more viewers.
If only it was that simple.
So
that was a good play on that one.
My name is Josh, and this is my co-host, Jared.
Josh, I can't hold myself responsible for another person's emotional state.
True. All right, so Last of Us.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit later. Those quotes are from.
Yep.
But let's, we don't have any feedback, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So we'll just
go right in if you want to.
Yeah, if you have feedback, even in the opener. He's talking about the concert, the bands he went to see that I've never heard of. If you know, write in. If you have just thoughts on even this episode, and we can read them next week about Last of Us or anything else that we've been talking about covering.
Yeah. If you have questions, comments, concerns about Based or Waste, write in.
Yeah.
Or if there's like a show you're like, hey, you all should check out, let us know.
Yeah. So email at feedback@screentimepod.com or all the social medias. Give us a comment to DM.
Yep.
All right. So let's get into what have you been watching?
I have 2 things.
Okay. At least one of them is probably the same thing I have.
Yeah. Well, maybe 2 things.
Yeah.
Maybe both of mine.
Maybe.
Do you have more than that?
Yeah. So, although I can talk about, the other things I have is things you wouldn't have.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, yeah.
So, I'll start off with, I went to Trailer Fest representing you with the shirt here.
For the audio listeners. Yep.
Yeah.
You got
the shirt on. So I think I went to this last year. I think I probably talked about it last year.
I think so.
But, springtime Trailer Fest, they run our local movie theater, Warehouse Cinemas.
Oh, they do it at Warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
all 3 of them, 3 of the locations.
Nice.
And you basically sit and watch an hour of upcoming trailers for movies that are summer into to fall and winter. I mean, they covered kind of like the rest of the year. But it's fun. It's a fun time. It's, only costs a few bucks for tickets, and you get a free t-shirt, you get a bunch of other random swag. Like stuff and then they're handing out, they also have a bunch of movie posters and stuff you can buy there,
nice.
like old movie posters. They hand out a bunch of free samples of their food, which all their food's really good.
Yeah.
So it was a good time.
You've been like, you have so many trailers that you've seen now between this and CinemaCon.
So I will say that this year wasn't as fun for me as last year, only because I'd just seen about half these trailers, or at least variations of them. That was what actually was interesting. Some of the trailers were not the same trailers, but
oh, cool.
Because probably some of the stuff they show at CinemaCon are not like the real official trailers. Yeah. They're just like, here's a cut.
Well, and you saw stuff beyond
then there's sometimes long extended scenes and other things they share.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can just run through a few of the things that I watched that I was
you said all this year?
Yes.
They didn't show anything for next year.
Okay. No, not really. Not the trailers. And there was a couple of things they put at the end just to be like, hey, be aware, like these movies are coming. And some of those were just like graphics of like stuff that was coming next year at the end.
Cool.
But basically we've got, these are things I would like to go see in the theater. So the Thunderbolts, which is real soon.
You have them down like a yes, maybe, or no? Your category for like trailers.
Yeah, I wrote it down the ones that, the Karate Kid Legends. I do want to go see that. It actually looks like it'd be fun, especially after watching the show.
Yeah.
Which I talked about here. Ballerina, of course.
Of course.
I figured you're going to want to go see that with me.
Yes. Yes, I will.
Jurassic World Rebirth looks good.
Yeah, it looks surprisingly good, actually. I'm a little pessimistic on recent Jurassic Park films. But.
Yeah. Lilo and Stitch live action actually looks good.
That I'm still not sure about, but We'll see.
All right. Mission Impossible. Sure.
Yes. Did you see Tramell Tillman's in that?
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes. Good old boy from Severance.
Milkshake.
Yep.
Mr. Milkshake.
Elio, which is the new Pixar movie.
That one I didn't even know about till you mentioned it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know like the premise or.
No.
Yeah. Sounds cool though.
Yeah. F1 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Superman.
Yep.
And
That's like the big summer.
Yeah. And Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yes.
Well, Mission Impossible, Jurassic Park. I mean, Jurassic Park.
They're all this summer, I guess. Yeah.
Jurassic Park's in July. Fantastic Four's in July. Superman's in July. F1 and Elio are June, and Ballerina are in June. And then Mission Impossible, Lilo and Stitch, and Karate Kid and Thunderbolts are all May.
Wow.
So those are things that I'm looking forward to seeing.
I know normally some of the biggest ones, what do they do normally, like Memorial Day or something? Like normally there's like specific times
especially
of
the
the
family
year.
ones, which is probably what Lilo and Stitch is probably hitting that weekend. That because anything they can take the kids to.
Yeah. Oh, well, July 4th they always
July 4th
they always
do a
do
big
that.
one too. Yeah, anything where kids are going to have extra time, people will be off work.
Yeah, off work. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Lilo and Stitch is hitting Memorial Day weekend.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it was fun, and maybe if you're in our area, check it out. Trailer Fest next year.
Yeah. Is there
not,
anything else?
So sorry.
Is there anything else you saw that you're like, oh, this is bad? Or
bad necessarily. So there's a couple things there's probably some things I wouldn't go see in the theater.
Yeah.
But the one thing that was interesting, and again, not my kind of movie,
mm-hmm.
and don't even remember the name of this thing, but it was a trailer for some type of horror film. What interesting was it was like Groundhog Day horror film.
Happy Death Day?
No.
Okay. There's a movie, something like that has a premise like that. That's a horror movie.
Well, that one already existed, right?
Yeah, but they did like a couple of them. I didn't know if there's like a sequel.
No, I think it wasn't called that. It was something else. It was interesting, and like it was track how many times they died, and
oh, I know what you're talking about. Until Dawn.
Yes,
based on a video game.
Yes.
And
it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
from like that kind of film. And again, not something I normally go see, but
yeah, I played the game. That came out like right when PS4 came out. Like it's pretty old at this point, but
it's funny. It didn't allude to that it was even based on a video game when I was watching.
Oh, they didn't put that in the trailer.
I mean, maybe I missed it, but
I guess.
But once you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that being a video game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I guess really all they put on those things is just Sony. Like that's for anything like that. Yeah.
That was the only thing I remember. I didn't take any notes on other stuff like that. That I was just like,
No, but I remember it's a cool premise.
The premise, like, and it looks well done. So,
who's the director? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Okay.
And then the only other thing that was obvious to me missing, well, two that I saw at CinemaCon that I know there were trailers out there for. One is Naked Gun.
Yep.
Because that's this year, right?
I don't know.
I think it comes out this year. But the other one was the new Final Destination.
Oh yeah,
and that trailer looks good. I mean, like it looks good. At least the stuff I've seen, and the clip I saw at CinemaCon looked good. Even though I'm not really a Final Destination person, like
yeah, I remember being really into them in the early 2000s when they were like first started. But
yeah,
then I imagine they just got worse as they went. Right, those movies.
Correct, I'm sure. And then they haven't made one in a while. But then
so now it's
then they're bringing it back, and it looks like it's legitimately decent.
Okay.
Like so, if you're into that,
nice.
And then I guess I don't know when this comes out, and they didn't show a trailer for this either. But I think that's this summer too. But definitely saw CinemaCon was the new sequel. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, I didn't even hear about this.
Yeah, I'm probably forgot because there's so much to remember from CinemaCon.
There is, yeah.
But that was because I remember that movie I remember watching in the theater. there was like, what was the other one that was at the same time?
You watched the original in the theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal back then, I remember, yeah.
There was two of them, though. There was
I Still Know What You Did.
No, that was the sequel, but there was another, I guess it was the original Fear, or Scream was the other one.
Scream,
I think they were both like around the same time, and they were kind of became cult.
I know what you're talking about, yeah. There was another one, I think even besides Scream, that was very similar around that time, yeah.
Anyway, and this has got the original surviving cast in it. So Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Nice
are both in the new one.
Wasn't that? Or I don't
makes
remember.
Me want to go see it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, what wasn't although I don't remember. Maybe she died. Wasn't Sarah Michelle Gellar also in it?
I think she was.
That sounds right, but maybe she died in it. I don't know.
She might be in it again too. I can't remember.
It's been a long time.
They showed a trailer, but again, I saw so much crap at CinemaCon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, this is, I mean, and we'll talk about in TV, but like this is so far like a great year for films and TV. It seems like it's going to keep going.
Shipping up. Minecraft movies doing great in the theaters.
Yeah, that's massive, I bet already. I haven't seen the numbers, but I imagine it's just insane the amount of people that have seen it. I didn't realize the director of that was the Napoleon Dynamite director, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Also Nacho Libre, I think. Yeah, because that's a little sneak peek. That's in Baster Ways, Nacho Libre. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's why it's trending.
That's why. Oh, okay.
It's so interesting seeing what's trending for like just random things.
Because of other reasons. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. But so Trailer Fest, check it out if you are in our area. The other thing I got to check out, Apple Immersive.
Oh, yeah.
A new series. Again, but it's funny because they keep releasing things in certain series, and it's like, but a lot of them have only one episode in these series.
Right.
So this is a new series called VIP.
Okay.
And this one's called VIP Yankee Stadium. So it focuses on the stadium and then a game against the
I don't know sports.
Boston Red Sox, I think. Was it the Red Sox? No. I'm trying to remember who the other team was. There was another team there.
You and I both are not sports people.
It was I know, yeah. It might have been the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think it was the Dodgers.
Okay, wasn't the last thing that you mentioned that was on the Apple Vision, wasn't that something similar to that you saw recently you were talking about? I thought it was something sports adjacent.
Sports.
I thought it was something recently.
The Metallica thing was really recent.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
And then
something else, maybe. I don't know.
There was like ice surfing or snow, or like cold surfing.
Okay.
Trying to think if there was anything else.
I don't know. I might be way off. I thought there was something else similar to that you checked out recently on there.
I could be forgetting something. They've been releasing stuff pretty. I know in May is like the long doc of Bono that's going to be in that.
Right.
That they've kind of been teasing for a while. But anyway, this was cool. I mean, it was because there's a little bit of the history of the stadium. And then one thing that was neat that I hadn't seen them do that was a clever trick. They had they took like a with the high end 3D camera film this like shot of the outside the stadium, and then they like cut out like a section, and then there was a way to show like footage from like old footage.
Nice.
That was not 3D and put it in like something. I was like, and it was done well and it looked good. And I was like, oh, that was a clever way to present that. And so like, you kind of had this like slow moving shot of the whole stadium that felt like you were standing there.
Cool.
But then you're just looking at this like, almost like this billboard showing this like old footage. Yeah. That was archival footage of things at the stadium. But then it was just first few minutes were kind of like a little bit of history showing, them like take care of the field, the turf and all that stuff. And then got into like the rivalry and both the players and the teams. And then they showed them kind of play the game. And it was also interesting because I mean they focused on the Yankee Stadium, but the Yankees lost in the actual video.
Okay.
So it was 12, 13, maybe 15 minutes. It was, it was not super short, but the thing I don't know is the series is called VIP. So I don't know if they're like, oh, they're going to pick another stadium, but it also could just be something else completely different and not a stadium. Like you just don't know. You don't know what the cover is like a.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be just like sports related.
Yeah,
it could be something else.
Could be, but it could all be sports. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they made it as like a new, category where it might have multiple episodes.
It's funny because of like the medium of Apple Vision. It's like you'll check out things that like
I would never
really
watch.
haven't. Yeah, you have no interest in sports, but like something like that, yeah, it's just cool because you feel like you're there, and it's also just like being able to visit things as close to it being like real, like you're there in person. Visit places that you maybe not necessarily would be able to.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine in the future like that'd be reason enough to buy an Apple Vision Pro if it could get to so real to the point like, hey, I want to visit this part of the world, and you could just get like a 3D, I don't know, like from Apple Maps, but it feel like you're there. Like I imagine that probably can happen pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Get a little mini vacation in your in your headset.
Yeah. All right.
So they're gonna do an add-on where it's like somehow make it like your smell involved also or something. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that's
the next step?
Get the other senses involved. Yeah, some point.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. I bet they've tested that already. Yeah. I'm sure they've thought of some. Yeah, how to involve your other senses. That would be crazy.
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision, yeah.
Apple smell.
I smell.
I smell. Well, everything's Apple.
There's no I now.
They don't use the I anymore.
I smell.
That's why it's like the Apple Vision. Apple smell.
Yeah,
that'd be a good April Fool's commercial.
Missed opportunity. They should have done that this year.
There you go. There you go, Apple. That's free for next year.
Yeah, that's free.
All right. So what's something you've been watching? It might be something I watched as well, but since I just
I'll start with the one that you probably watched. Your Friends and Neighbors.
Yes. So I only watched the first episode. I haven't watched the second episode. So this is so Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV Plus. A hedge fund manager resorts to burglary after losing his job, targeting wealthy neighbors to maintain his family's lifestyle, but makes a fateful error breaking into the wrong home. That's the premise of this. But that premise plus John Hamm as that that hedge fund manager makes it for
very entertaining.
Entertaining to watch.
Yes. Yeah, I not only because you and I both really like John Hamm, but seeing that it was renewed immediately for season 2 off the bat, I'm like, okay, so they're pretty confident in this. So going into it, I was like, okay, imagine this is going to be good. And I didn't remember, I looked it up, but the writer on the show is a pretty big name. And that's what I wanted to start with specifically was I think the writing is really great in this and how they do the dialogue specifically. So, I'll say also, John Hamm, Amanda Peet, and Olivia Munn. Also, just a side note, Amanda Peet and Olivia Munn is the two people that John Hamm gets to interact with, females he gets to interact with. That's good for you, John Hamm. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, so the dialogue, what I like about it is with John Hamm in particular, I think it's interesting that it's like his character in this is almost like exact opposite of Don Draper.
Yes.
Don Draper is like mysterious, quiet, stoic type of guy. And I guess he goes by Cooper in this, right? Yeah. And he's just like, he's very the opposite, but also we get this inner monologue too. So it's like he's not hiding any of his feelings. Like he's either verbally expressing them or you know about it because he's talking about it in his monologue. So it's just like, and I also just proves the range that John Hamm has and how good he is. But I just like that. It's like literally a complete opposite of like the last show that he did that he was the main character in.
Yeah.
He wanted to do like a complete opposite person.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Anyway, but yeah, the dialogue too with, you know, his ex-wife and everyone else is just, I think it's done really well.
Yeah, just the writing for the characters. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just didn't have time to watch both episodes yet.
Yeah, this is one I'm trying to decide if I want to save up a few, like, you know, I do with a lot of these shows, or actually watch it week to week. I haven't decided yet. I just watched the first one like you, and so, but yeah, I do really like it. And I'm happy we're going to get a lot of it, I guess. At least 2 seasons.
I mean, I don't think Apple, other than maybe when they launched the service, and they might have like renewed some of those shows like right off the bat, but like they normally
they don't
hold
normally
off.
do that.
And for the fact that this was renewed for season 2 before they even like premiered season 1, does say a lot to their confidence in it.
It's also just nice to have a show, because John Hamm has been in other stuff obviously since Mad Men, but he hasn't led a show since then. So it's very cool to see. We'll get a lot of him in this.
Speaking of, kind of along the same lines, Mythic Quest did get canceled. Just
really?
Yeah. They
do we know why?
Didn't say why, just said they were canceled, but they will in a few weeks drop one more like final episode. So my guess is it was already news, but they knew they weren't renewing it after this season. The fact that they have like an extra episode to release, like I don't think they could shoot it that fast.
Right. They didn't want
to, but you also don't want to go into, I don't know, maybe you do. From a marketing standpoint, maybe you don't go into and be like, this is the final season, because then everybody's like, oh,
that's true.
Maybe they're trying to, I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Maybe something shifted and they just said, you know what? But I don't know how they would turn out another episode so quickly to release like a finale.
Well, I mean, they did. I remember when they did the quarantine.
The COVID episode.
They did that very quick. So obviously that was like
half of it was on Zoom.
Yeah, in some ways, I guess that's easier. But I mean, that's
production wise, it's easier.
Yeah, but that episode was still pretty technical as far as like what all they had to do with it. But I guess that means that they probably had a way to somewhat end it already in the season, or maybe they didn't, and maybe they did film another episode that fast when they were like, hey, we'll give you one more to kind of close it up. But that's unfortunate. But
4 seasons is a good run, plus the side quest thing, which I haven't finished that yet.
I haven't either. I mean, that's a good run, and they probably, I imagine, with that show Mythic Quest, I can't imagine they were going into it wanting like something crazy like 8 seasons. They probably were ready to start wrapping it up anyway. So, no.
Anyway, that was just something.
What else? Yeah. What else do you have? Because I just have one more that I don't know if you checked out or not.
Probably not, because I realized. So the other thing I have. Well, I did want to mention the most recent episode of The Studio. The show continues to
I didn't put that down, but I've been watching that every week.
Yeah, the episode 4, The Reel. The missing reel. Again, so good. And the way speaking of inner monologue, like the way they do their monologue, and he's like, oh, this is just my therapy, like through a voice dictation.
That was a brilliant way to do it.
It's just so good. Olivia Wilde's cameo is so good, and
it was a brilliant way to have him do like the old school, because obviously they were invoking a lot of the film noir old school detective type of feel. So it was a perfect way to do that, so he could have his
trench coat like and hat like.
And that was brilliant too, how they incorporated that to have the old school trench coat look, and the hat. And he's like, because of his hair, he's like, put this hat on.
And Zac Efron and the whole stuff at the wrap party. It just so again, the show continues to be fantastic.
It is. Yeah, it's very high. I know, like, we did our top 10 from last year, and last year TV overall wasn't quite as strong, but like this already, I think is like going to be very high up.
It's going to be high. This and obviously Severance. So
yes, yeah, we already have two,
and then we've got Last of Us and Andor this month, and
I know
it's going to be it's going to be a tough end of the year.
It is
to narrow it down, but
yeah, and there's still, I imagine, so much more
things we don't even know about.
Yeah. Because now it's funny. So I was just going to say that now we don't really have in the past, summer would kind of be more of a drought in TV, and we don't really get that anymore.
No,
there's stuff
because on streaming it used to be all wrapped around advertising, and you'd have the fall stuff, and then they would kind of take a break during the holidays, and then they'd have the spring stuff, and then take a break through the summer. But
because that was even the case. Even when the streaming started, like with Netflix and everything, like it still wasn't as much in the summer. Because I mean, obviously that makes sense.
Like like Stranger Things dropped like early July. So I remember
one of the seasons was July 4th. I remember it was
the first season was in July.
Okay,
and because I remember watching it like before anybody really watched it. And,
yeah, me too.
And I was like checking it out, and
Josh and I have been first in a lot of these big hits, especially like Severance.
Especially if it's anything genre related.
We always
kind of check that stuff out, and so
man, that I think we talked about it a little, but that's going to be such an issue, that final season. I can't even imagine with the kids.
Yeah. Well, I keep seeing. I've seen there was another trailer. Actually, it might have been that one with the video game one that we were just talking about. That was
Until Dawn. Yeah,
I think one of the kids is in that.
Yeah,
but he looks like a young adult. He doesn't look like a kid anymore.
So. Dude, yeah, how much those kids have aged is crazy. Like, especially, I bet I haven't revisited season 1, but I bet it'd be crazy even to go back now. Do you think that show, because season 1 was so, in just like that Goonies feel and all that was like so perfect.
Amblin,
yeah. Do you think that show is kind of fallen off since then? Because I do.
Like, yeah.
Not even season 2. It was still good, but like it definitely just
absolutely
went down every season, I think.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No.
It's just not the because a part of that's the mystery, right? And then it's like, it's like once you reveal, it's like when you finally say, oh, it's just metachlorians in the Force, and then suddenly the Force is not as cool anymore.
Yeah, true.
It's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's like you want to give answers, but you got to, which is where like Severance, like at least in the 2 seasons so far, did such a great job of giving answers, but then creating more mystery.
Yeah, they toe that line really well.
And that's where I would say like Stranger Things didn't do that as well. And see, like you said, season 2 a little bit because they have, but then they already seemed like they went too far. And it's just,
I agree. They should have kept them mystery because it was just. But also, it's the thing we talk about with other shows where it's like they really catch lightning in a bottle, and it's like trying to keep that going is tough. But it can be done. I mean, Severance is a perfect example of continuing that. Even though it wasn't perfect, there was like that one episode that you didn't like. But no, there was aspects. I mean, we talked about it in the pod. There was aspects. It wasn't perfect, but
so the other thing I'm watching is Hacks season 4.
Oh, that's right. That did start.
Yeah, I saw the first 2 episodes of that.
How is it still strong?
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. Just the premise of this, if you don't know, Hacks explores a dark mentorship that forms between Deborah Vance, a legendary Las Vegas comedian, and an entitled outcast 25-year-old.
Because I know you've championed the show a lot and have talked about it a lot, and everything you said about it's just been strong all 4 seasons. Like it hasn't really dipped at all, which is awesome.
There was like an episode or 2 in season 3 that was like, okay, this is a little off. Like it's not bad, but it's like a little, but overall it still was pretty solid. And this season started out strong as well.
And this is on Max?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
the one to watch for HBO. But this is a Max original and not an HBO. Man.
Write the check, HBO, to us. Giving you free advertising.
Yeah. So, but that's.
Wait, do you any more to say about it, or just like it's good? Is there anything in particular?
I don't want to spoil too much. I mean, I don't want to get into too much if you haven't watched the earlier seasons.
Yeah.
But just where they left off in season 3 was like a good setup.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's good. I just think, again, speaking of writing, I think the writing in this show is fantastic. And I mean, even just to be able to write jokes for comedians to use on the, like, because she's a fake comedian. I mean, she's not a real comedian.
Yeah.
This Deborah Vance. And then for them to be good and know when to be good. And
write I don't know how many jokes they do, but I mean, you're on 4 seasons now. That's a lot of.
I mean, like, they
joke
don't, like, you don't see her doing stand up all the time. Like, right. Like, it's more about their life, but like here and there sprinkled in, she has to do a stand up here or do like, yeah. So,
well, speaking of kind of talking about final seasons, is this wrapping up anytime? Is this the final season, or did
I haven't
they
heard it say that's final, but like it's possible. I mean, you never know.
All right.
What was the last one?
Yeah. My last thing is Black Mirror.
Oh, yeah. No, I did not check this out yet.
I was wondering if you did or not. Because you're caught up, right? Like, I imagine at this point.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
It's been a couple years since the last season.
Yeah, I think I saw everything from that season.
I mean, there's normally not many. There's normally only like 3 or 4 or 5 episodes. I like, though, that they can kind of do whatever, not only with, because each one its own story, but even the length of it. Like, I haven't watched it yet because I've only watched the first episode, but the final episode in this new season is an hour and a half.
Wow.
So it's like
a movie.
Yeah, they have a movie. Which I did see. It is a continuation of like one of the best Black Mirrors, the USS.
Yep.
Yeah, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, I did watch. So I did watch. They had it was on their YouTube channel or something. They had a recap of that episode.
Yeah, I want to watch it again though because it's been a while.
Yeah, I just watched the recap because it was like, but I did want to watch that because I wanted to watch.
Yeah,
and I was like, ooh, there's a recap of that episode.
Yeah, and I think that's the only thing. As far as I know, all the other things aren't really
continuation.
Yeah, or have any although one does look like it kind of plays with the story from Bandersnatch. Remember that interactive?
Yeah.
Looks like there's something with that too, which was a really cool thing, and I like that story too. But anyway, the first one, and this is on Netflix. I am actually going back and because I think I talked about it maybe a few months ago. I am revisiting some of the old episodes too. Because it's been, I mean, that came out in like 2012. Like, it's those early ones, it's been that long. I did just rewatch, speaking of John Hamm, the White Christmas episode. That one's still incredible. It's one of the best.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. Still awesome. There's some stuff I've forgotten it. That was just really cool. But this first one for the new season is called Common People. I won't really get into it much, but this is another one that I was like, because going into Black Mirror, I'm always like, all right, let's see how close this is to our near future in real life. And honestly, every season feels like it's getting closer and closer to reality. This one especially is just nothing in particular, but there's just, I'll say there's something that it's a husband and wife, and the wife, which is Rashida Jones. The husband, forget the actor's name. He's been in a lot of stuff too. But it's mainly just about them. And she has some kind of accident where there's a section of her brain that is, I don't know if they say it's cancer or something else, but there's something. And they give her an offer to like basically copy that part of her brain. And it's like this corporation that does this and basically like backs it up, only that part of her brain, and then they can control it. Obviously, so you can imagine there's a lot of stuff that can happen with that. But one of the main things is like they play into, which is so true to today, especially, which is like I think one of the best parts about this episode is this company offers them different tiers, like a subscription service. They're like, oh, do you want the plus or the premium or?
Well, it sounds like that show Upload. Did you ever watch that show Upload?
Yeah, similar to that.
It's like depending on what you pay, it's like you got different types of the afterlives after you upload your brain or whatever.
Yes. So yeah, it is. Yeah, kind of similar to that, but it's just great because they go with the first tier because they're struggling financially anyway, and the wife this isn't a spoiler because this is like very beginning of the episode. Like the wife starts just randomly speaking commercials because they're like, oh, well, that's because you got so she's like in the middle of a conversation, she'd be like, are you tired of blah 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 blah?
It's like the commercial tier.
Yes.
You didn't pay enough to even get the commercials.
It's just like streaming are like, oh, you had the one with.
Oh man,
dude, it's great though. It's a great episode.
That's good because that's what would happen.
Yes,
You're
this
like, well, this one's free, but you get ads.
And it's even that's what I mean. Like this one, and even this process or this concept, I'm like, I could see this happening very soon, where it's not like a total conscious upload, but it's like a fragment of a brain that they're backing up and then controlling it a certain way. But it's not like a Severance thing where they're like putting like a chip into her head. But anyway, but then later also they get more into like they come back to her and they're like, well, actually no, because they finally upgrade to like the next tier, and then they come back and they're like, oh, well, actually your tier now is the lowest tier. They change it, and they're like, oh, the top one's like Lux or something, and so it gets crazy like that. Gets a little more into Severance there, where it's like, oh, with that tier, if you want more serenity, there's just like in your app you can just crank that up, and so there's a lot of things. It's very interesting, but like this is what I mean. This is, like you said, this is exactly how they would approach it in real life, and I could see this being a thing very soon.
Yeah,
for sure. So
crazy.
Great start. Every Black Mirror season though, there's normally a weaker episode, so I don't know, but there's 5 episodes I think this season, but so cool. That's Netflix, so definitely I'm excited to keep going, and I'm gonna revisit some of the older episodes too. So
cool.
Okay. All right, are we ready?
It's time for Based or Waste.
Okay, welcome back to Based or Waste. Man, I felt like I just talked a while, and now I got to do this too.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate, but this is the show where we go on Rotten Tomatoes, check out what's trending, whether it be TV shows or movies, and we go off the audience score. I picked 10 of them, and Josh is going to guess if they're good or bad, if they're based or waste. We are on movies. Yes, movies.
Okay.
I already told you one of them, Nacho Libre, is trending right now. So that'll be coming up. But yeah, I believe you should know all of these or somewhat familiar with these.
Okay.
So we got 10 of them. Yeah. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. You're doing better score wise. I don't remember what you got on the last film one, but you did 7 or 8 last week.
I think it was 8 last week.
Yeah. So
I think it was 7 the week before.
Okay. All right. We will start with just came out, I believe, over the weekend, The Amateur. I'm sure you heard of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is Rami Malek.
Yeah. We'll say based.
Yes. 88.
Oh, higher than I thought.
Yeah, that is higher than I
would just guess, but I was figuring it was going to be at least in the 60s or 70s. So
this also just, the audience score probably just started on it. So like we always say, it's interesting to revisit some of these too, because it changes
it's
so
evolving.
much.
It's an evolving score.
Sure is.
All right, what's next?
A Minecraft movie. I like that it's called A Minecraft movie.
I'm going to say based. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. Of course, it is also an 88 right now.
Good numbers, so should be.
Yeah. I wonder what critics think of it. I did not look at that, but All right, this next one you might not have heard of because it's a little bit under the radar, it seems, but I've been looking forward to it. The Luckiest Man in America. This is based on a true story. Has Walton Goggins in it, a few other actors I recognize. Some crazy thing that happens with some guy on a game show. And yeah, some true story. I don't know when it happened, but it looks interesting.
And this is out already? This is out.
Yes, I think it just came out in theaters, like it is doing a theater run. It looked like I thought it was just going to be a streaming movie, but
let's say based.
yeah, 63. All right, this one. Oh, you know what? I bet I know why this one's trending too, but the Super Mario Bros. Movie, the new one, not the crazy 90s live action one. Yeah.
The new animated one.
Yes, which I guess because of all the Nintendo news. I don't know
Maybe.
why else. Yeah.
I'm going to say based on this one.
Oh, yeah. This is very high. This is 95. Even now, which is like,
Yeah.
probably has an insane amount of scores in general. So,
Yep.
or a lot of people rated it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is another one that trending and makes sense. Tron Legacy, which is the second one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the new Tron trailer.
Did you see that trailer?
Yes.
Was that a part of?
Yes, it was. But
Was part of the
CinemaCon stuff. Yeah.
CinemaCon? Okay.
That's why Jeff Bridges and what's his name?
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto were even there. Why
Nice.
I got to film them
Nice.
for interview.
What do you think about the new one?
It's interesting that it's merging into the rest of the world, right? Like that's
Yeah.
So could be cool. I mean,
Yeah.
the trailer looks fun.
It
like,
does, yeah.
yeah. Like as a kid, I always loved like the original
yeah.
one because of the light bikes were
Yeah, so
freaking so cool, and
Yeah.
they'd make like right turns and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, something about it. I'm gonna say based.
Yes, 64. I don't remember how this movie was. I remember watching it when it first came out, but
I
it's
remember
pretty
seeing
old
it.
now.
Either saw it in theaters or saw it like right after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Olivia Wilde, I think she's in
Yeah,
there.
that's right. I was gonna say that too, but then they also de-aged Jeff Bridges in it.
Yeah, that was the big deal at that time because that
was
also
still
was
early on when they were.
Yeah.
It was like right around the same time they did. What's the name of it? Iron Man?
Oh, right. Yeah, they were some of like the first movies that started to do the DH.
De-aged him a little bit in one of the intro, like where he was
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert
Yeah,
Downey,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Not sure why this is trending, but I love this movie, Heat. Or did we already do this one? I don't know if I put this
because
up.
Val Kilmer passing away.
Oh, yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
This is going to be based.
Yes,
It's
94.
got to be. It's
Yep.
like, so this movie's not.
Speaking of, I think we need to move Michael Mann up on the list, maybe soon, of directors, because I don't think you've seen maybe any of his movies.
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
Maybe Last of the Mohicans.
I've seen that, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe you've seen a few of it, but love that director. Very specific vibe to his movies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We have 4 more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got perfect score so far.
Yeah, so far.
All right. Lucy is the next one. This is a Scarlett Johansson movie. Don't know why this one is. Do you remember this?
I don't know this one.
It's kind of vaguely sci-fi-ish, I think. Well, sci-fi to Hollywood standards.
Not to Jared standards.
Not to mine. Yeah.
I'm just going to go waste because I don't know.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
47, yeah. Nice. Yeah, good call. All right, next one is The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I guess was the most recent one.
Yeah, it's because they announced the
There's a new one coming, right?
New one coming, and the new book, and
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this franchise.
I don't either, but I'm not familiar. But I know they handed out the book, I think, at CinemaCon, but I didn't.
Oh, cool.
I wasn't in that, or wasn't in the presentation at the time. Some of them I would go in late and then leave early because of filming other stuff, and so I'd missed that, like the part where they're handing out a thing. Anyway, I'm gonna say Based.
Yeah, it seems like people love these movies. 89. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Two more. Yeah, I think only this final one's might be tricky, but this next one's going to be easy. Princess Mononoke.
No, Based.
Yeah. 94. I don't know why this one's trending, but great movie.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yep. It's the last one, Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre is our last one.
You're right. This one is a little tricky. I'm going to say Waste.
Because I love this movie.
I'm going to say Waste.
Correct.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. Right on the line, 55. But
yeah,
I don't know why this is a waste. I've always loved this movie. But I bet Napoleon Dynamite might be on the line too. A lot of people either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's been a long time since I got a perfect score.
Nice. I don't have a prize for you. But
come on. All the work I put into this, and
here's a Ghost, new flavor. There you go.
Is it a new flavor?
Yeah.
Or cider black cherry?
Yeah. It's the one it took me forever to find. But leave a comment if you have an idea for what Josh should win for a prize. Because it has been a minute though. But yeah,
it's been a while. Yeah.
Very well done.
It was last year because
first time this year I believe. Yeah,
because it was it was a rough start this year.
Yeah,
and worked my way back up to some 7s, and and then now a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, you are
the Based or Waste champion.
You are, and you're a film guy now. Maybe the CinemaCon and all that got you prepared.
Yeah, TV. What?
Yeah. Which is funny because you normally watch more TV than movies. Yeah, in general.
I mean, if you count the time that I spend, it's more more shows.
All right, that has been Based or Waste. Tune in next week.
All right. Well, let's get into The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 1, Future Days. 5 years after the events in Salt Lake City, a now 19-year-old Ellie makes a discovery while on patrol with her best friend Dina. Back in Jackson Hole, Joel seeks help to mend his relationship with Ellie.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, that's a real place. Wyoming. Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of the town that they're in. Their little town is Jackson, I think.
Yeah, Hole. Yeah, that's what the town.
Okay. All right. Never mind.
Yeah. All right. So, what'd you think of? I'm going to ask these of you more because you have the video game knowledge, and then you watch this. What did you think of this first episode?
Well,
of season 2.
But should you go first? Because
I have nothing reference to otherwise.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we talked about it, but I do want to know, like, how did you feel about the first season in general?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was good. The world building's good. The acting was good. Some twists in there. It was good.
So good, not like amazing. Like you weren't like really high on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was. I would have to remember, but I don't know if it ended up on my top 10 or not. Because I think we did it that year. That was because we've done it twice now, and that would have been.
Oh yeah, did we do the pod then? I guess so.
Or at least the top.
We 10, started that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think this is an interesting start to season 2. Already is very different than the game.
Okay.
Main thing different wise, I should say, is just it seems like they're adding and rearranging certain like big plot points. It seems so far. And I had a feeling they were going to do that anyway, because first season, they didn't deviate much. They did some, but I knew they were going to do that more this time for this story of the second game. So I think all that's interesting, and I don't have too many notes, but I'll mention some of that when we get into it. Some of the stuff I like that they added, but yeah, I'm wondering though how you'll feel about it, because I just know more of the context to like what's being set up and all that. So that makes me a little more engaged to it, but I'm curious how you would be for this.
I mean, I thought it was a good first episode.
Okay.
It was a good, just kind of intro setup for the time jump. Cause like, if you have that 5-year time jump, like you basically have, you kind of have to reestablish where everybody's at, all the characters and things like that. Cause that much time was gone by. You can't just like pick up right where you left off. So I thought did a good job of that kind of, bringing us back into where these guys are and guys and gals are from the time jump. So yeah.
When it's cool, they start with like that very end scene of season 1, which is a cool way to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of like there, and then there's the 2 little intro things before time jump.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we can get into it, talk about it. So yeah, the very first thing they start with is basically the scene from the end, last of season 1, where Joel swears to Ellie that he told her the truth about the fireflies, and she kind of gives this like okay, like kind of like that she kind of believes him but doesn't believe him.
Yeah,
like the delivery of that's really good.
It is really good. Yeah,
and which I think I didn't go back and watch, but like that scene's at the end of season 1, right?
Yeah, that's how it ends. Yeah.
And then we see them,
but we don't see the thing they added is like I think how he looks back at her and they walk away. I don't think we got that part, because I believe the way season 1 ended was her saying okay, and then that was
cut. Yeah. So we get a little bit more of that and see them kind of turning, walking into Jackson.
Yeah.
And then we get this other scene in Salt Lake City, the surviving fireflies, burying their dead, and one of them, Abby, insists that they need to track Joel down and kill him. So we don't know why she's so upset. Like who he killed that she cares about is what you assume is something there. But then one of the guys says that he should regroup in Seattle first, but he vows to help her find Joel and slowly kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the other main kind of character for the second story is Abby. Again, I won't get into anything because I want Josh to just see how the story plays out. I just wanted to talk about because Abby in particular, because I was curious. We don't really get much for her, but I was curious what you think of her in this episode in general. I guess not really much.
Revenge-driven person. I don't know. We didn't get much, but we only get her like right there at the beginning and then a little bit at the end.
Right. Yeah. Actually, so also now that I'm thinking about it, the way this season opens with getting that Joel and Ellie, like they're look at each other, and how she responds, like, okay, to like swear to me. This is kind of the whole premise of this story continuing is based on obviously this big decision that he made to save her, obviously, right in the first season, and the fallout from that, consequences, actions, whatever, so Abby, though, I think it's interesting because the actress Caitlin Dever that's playing her, she's a great actress anyway, we already know that. But what's interesting about this is that she, I think would be better to play Ellie. Like she looks so much like how Ellie looks originally. And nothing against Bella Ramsey because she's also a great actress, but Caitlin Dever, though, I think would have been great as Ellie, because there's just, which we can also get into, but there is some things with Ellie in this that I'm not sure about yet. I'm not sure if I like the direction they're taking her character. But the other thing I wanted to point out with Abby, though, is the way she is portrayed in this is very different to how she's portrayed in the game, which I think is an interesting choice they made to change the way she looked, because that's a pretty pivotal thing in the story.
Okay.
So Abby is normally a very tall woman that's very muscular.
Okay.
So I was wondering if like Caitlin Dever was going to get like jacked for this or not. She didn't, and she's pretty short also. But so that's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very curious how they're going to play out this season, just because her looking like that is like a big plot point. So I don't know. So that's gonna make a difference as well, for sure.
All right. So after that, we get the 5-year jump, and then we come right into Ellie kind of fighting and training with these two guys, and she thinks she did so great, and then the one guy's like, "Yeah, I pulled my punch," and then she's like, "Don't ever do that again." Of course, they're all scared of Joel, and they don't want. Like he's like, "I didn't want to have to explain knocking you out to Joel," which is like, okay.
She's still mad though about that.
Yeah, and then then we get a scene with her with Joel's brother Tommy, and they're like doing target practice while they patrol, and she's having a lot of fun with this, and you can tell she's gotten pretty good with the gun, the sniper, which is cool. And then she get I mean, get a little bit of Joel with his brother's wife. I forget her name, but then they're like talking about how they need to build faster and blah blah blah.
Yeah, turn up that dial.
Yeah, turn up the dial. But then Ellie and Dina go on their patrol.
Yeah, I really like the interaction, because this is before that. The interaction that Dina has with Joel, though, when he's fixing something, and, they talk a little bit. It's a cool way to see, just because Dina is an important character also, and it's interesting to see their dynamic, how different it is compared to how Joel and Ellie are, right? Like Joel and Ellie, it's very father-daughter, right? And you can tell he still is very protective of her, but now she is, I believe they said she's 19 now.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, and I think he even says, he's like, she's acting the way every 19-year-old girl acts.
Yeah. I forget her name, but Catherine O'Hare's
the therapist. Yeah.
The character. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She's the one that she's like, oh, you've got such a unique problem. Yeah.
Yeah. But, and the actress that's playing Dina is really great too. She was in Alien Romulus, was the first thing I think I saw her in.
Okay.
But she's doing awesome in this.
Yeah. So the two of them go on patrol, and they come across a supermarket, and they go in to investigate, kill a couple infected, and then Ellie finds a new kind of infected, I guess you call it, and where it seemed to be smarter, and it still had eyes, maybe. I mean, like, it looked like they had a face that maybe you can see and not just hear.
Yeah, it looks very different from the clickers.
Yeah. And so then when she gets back, and she gets bitten, but we all know she's good. It's a cool scene where she then is cutting herself so it doesn't look like mouth bites.
Yeah, very smart.
To make it look like just like she got stabbed or something.
Yeah.
Got cut normal way. But they report it to the council, and they kind of are iffy about whether they believe him or not. But
yeah, that's where they kind of say the term stalker, which is this kind of infected.
okay. I mean, she kind of said that, but like I didn't know if that was like the official name.
That's where they're. Yeah, that's where
like
they're
they kind of stalked us, or something like. And
that's what it is. Yeah.
So she just called it that, but like so they didn't they refer to it as a stalker. But
yeah, that's what they're called, like that type in the game. Yeah, stalkers.
Okay.
But I think it's cool because of this 5-year jump. It's really cool to see how all the characters are evolving, but now how the infected are evolving too with this.
Well, I think it was interesting to see how casual and comfortable they are just warming around as well. It's like kind of like, oh, I know how to kill these things. Because, like once it's like, I'm trying to think of a good example, but like something that can be a little scary, but then once you get used to it, you're like, oh, it's actually not scary. I know how to deal with this, So they did a really good job showing that shift, right? Like where it's like, now we've been living this for 5 years. We have a system, we have trained people, we know how to kind of deal with these, and they just kind of, I guess like they're clearing them so that they don't get too close to the, the town.
Yeah. And they talk about like, what if there's only like 2, then take them out. But like, if there's any more than that, I think Jesse's the one that says that to them. Yeah. Before they go on the patrol. Yeah. So yeah, they're very used to it now, but then it's like,
problem is you get too comfortable.
That's what I was going to say. Mistakes. I was like, seems to be a little foreshadowing there with that. Well, obviously like whatever's in these pipes also, which is another part of the evolving, like I'm mentioning. So, with the cordyceps. Yeah.
Yeah. So, then we get Joel doing his weekly psychotherapist sessions with Gail, and he finally emits resentment towards. Well, she emits resentment towards him because he killed her husband, but then also when he's overcome the emotion, he confesses that he lied to Ellie because she's like, "You're not telling me something."
Yeah.
So that was kind of big. Of course, she doesn't say exactly what all he did.
No, I really like what he does here, like where he's just like, I saved her, which is like technically true, but that's not the whole story.
Right.
Yeah, this is what I was mentioning. This is my favorite new aspect they added in. So there's never a point where he goes to therapy in the game.
Be kind of less game.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very, these games and a lot of other games now are very cinematic where it is like a movie. So like, yeah, there are still moments that can happen like this for sure. But yeah, no, this is a whole new thing that I think is really great. Obviously this actress too is great. But yeah, interesting. We don't know why he killed her husband. But yeah, she's just, so that's a big part of their dynamic, obviously, also. She's like, I'm still angry at you.
And a New Year's Eve party, and Tina dances with Ellie, and they kiss. And then one of the guys, Seth, says something about, makes a comment about it, and of course then Joel punches him.
Mm-hmm. This is a whole big point of the beginning of the game. So this is like pretty 1-to-1. Yeah. This whole, event.
Of course, then she's like, I don't need you to save me. And then,
it's just like that. He's just making it worse at this point.
Yeah. Then she sees him then like, and she just kind of ignores him. Like, but he made that comment earlier to the therapist that like, she just walks by me like I'm a stranger or something.
Mm-hmm.
But and then after this, we see the Abby and them kind of show up, outer skirts of the town,
like overlooking.
Yep. And then we get the close up of the cordyceps coming through the pipe.
Yes. I'm not sure what that really entails. That part. Just in some way, it's growing out of this pipe, but Yeah, I kind of want to do this every week. In general, like I kind of want to hear like what do you think is going to happen next? Because I can guess too, because obviously seems like they're shifting around a lot of stuff. But yeah, I'm curious like what. Obviously, Abby's already now this close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think so. If they're smart, they'll go in as just like refugees.
Yeah.
To infiltrate the town and then look for the opportunity. But because there's no way they can take the handful of people can take a town.
No, but what's interesting? They talk about about letting more people in. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be harder for them anyway, because now, or at least in Joel's opinion, I don't know about everyone else. Like he's kind of mentioning like, hey, we should crack down a little bit more about letting new people in. So
you got that. You've got. You've got these new stalkers, whatever. So, I mean, that's going to pose a problem. They have like tactical.
Oh, yeah. You're way harder to kill, yeah.
Well, and find and defend against, too.
It's so cool how they do that scene where you see it very in the background with Ellie when she first encounters a stalker. And like, it's like crawling around, like almost close to the ceiling in the background. It was a really cool shot.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the vines.
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, it's a way for because they all talk to each other, right? The fungi, like it's a way for them to kind of communicate.
Yeah, they communicate, yeah.
So I think it's going to give them a way in, maybe. I mean, like, or at least be able to know their plans more, I guess.
Yeah, it's, there's just so many like questions. It's just like that's one of the main reasons why I was looking forward to this season in general. Is I'm so curious how they're going to approach so many aspects of this story. Because I mean, it's like even if you thought season 1 was dark, like this story is like way darker, and there's like so much more that goes on. So, but I'm also excited. It seems like they're going to add a lot more to it, because we also know, obviously, Last of Us Part 2 is a long game anyway, way longer than the first game. And we know it's going to at least be 2 seasons.
Yep.
So it's cool that they'll be able to expand on it too. And I like that Neil Druckmann is heavily involved with the show and the writing, who obviously he's the creator of the games. I believe he directed some too. At least one in the first season. I don't know. He's probably directing something in the second season too. But yeah, so just very curious about all that. I don't know. Is there anything else you're thinking about for like what's next? I mean, it is a slow start, like you said. It's kind of
other than it's the obvious of like this false sense of security they've developed there is going to go out the window.
Yeah.
But that's kind of inevitable.
Yeah,
I mean, if you watch the Walking Dead, just rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah.
They'd find somewhere to settle and then start to just feel like it was.
Yeah, and it's funny because like when this game first came out, it was like at the height of like Walking Dead, and like zombie stuff was really popular. But I like how this world, I like how it still sets itself apart from all the other zombie stuff, you know? And the whole thing with, which I don't really understand fully, but like you talk about how with the cordyceps and how they communicate is so interesting, and like that's such like a cool aspect to it that I think helps with the story.
28 years later was another trailer.
Oh, that looks sick. That looks really great. Yeah. There's one more thing. I'm blanking on it now, but there's one more thing I wanted to mention. I do want to say this also has an official podcast, which is very cool just because it's Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann are on it. But Troy Baker is the host. and he's the original actor of Joel in the games. And he's
Yeah, I think he did that in season 1.
did he? Okay, I didn't listen to it, but he's such a great actor anyway. He mainly just stays to video games.
Yeah,
but he's been in so much stuff. But yeah, so it's cool. I wonder if he will be in this show at all. He was very briefly in season 1.
Yeah,
But I'm wondering if he will
be.
be. Yeah, he was just like a side character.
But they probably won't use him again. That's another side
Yeah,
character.
I guess so. Yeah. And I loved what they did in season 1 with is her name Ashley Johnson? Is the actress that was Ellie's in the game.
Voice.
Yes. Well, I mean, they do mocap too. I mean, it's a whole performance thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I love how she was a mom. Yeah. And that was a whole new thing too. And it gave further context to maybe how she became immune, because she got bit like right in the middle of giving birth, I want to say. So it's such a cool way to explain that, because we didn't know any of that beforehand. So yeah, I like what they've expanded on so far. So that's what I'm most curious about, what they're going to add to this.
Well, let us know what your thoughts are on this episode, and even predictions for upcoming episodes of The Last of Us Season 2.
Shorter season 2, right?
I have no idea.
I think it is. I want to say it's only like 7.
But so you can write in at feedback@screentimepod.com or screentimepod on all the other platforms. So you can like and subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And if you like, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at JYoungBar.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right. Catch you guys next time.